Straight after the somewhat successful build of my first Damascus knife, somewhat because it kind of worked, but not the way I wanted it to, but it, you know, as a decorative piece it was fine. So straight off of that, I'm going to get into another Damascus knife build. Before I start that though, I'm going to change this handle blows, so that's not good enough. I'm going to do some twisted Damascus for this one, for which I need a tool to twist the Damascus, where this comes in. I used this on my first billet, which created this little piece. Touch base on that in a second, which is all well and good, but as I was wrenching on it, the thing was bending and moving and doing things I didn't want it to. So I'm going to come along and weld on some extra leverage. I'm not sure how yet. That way I can have a two-handed grip. It should make it significantly easier to twist and manipulate the Damascus faster, more efficiently, more consistently. So they're the first two jobs that I have to do. Should take naught but a minute. And then for the Damascus, as I said in a previous video, this is the billet that I made. So on the inside of this is that pattern. That's on the looser end, so I think deeper into the billet, the twists will be a lot tighter, but I've decided this isn't enough material to do anything with, so I'm going to make essentially another one of these, which is 2 layers of twists. I don't know if you can see the line through there where there's 2 bits forge welded together. I'm going to make another one of those, stick it on this side, so basically I'll have a square, and then top and bottom of that I'm going to put some more material. Then I should have plenty. That's a lie. Once I have my 4 this way, I'm going to cut it into sections, spin them, and then we'll have the spirals facing sideways. Try and forge weld that together. Now, being that I've only made 1 piece of Damascus before this, I feel that that has the potential to go completely sideways and wrong and just not work for me, but I'm going to give it a try anyway, because that's what I do. Diving in the deep end again, probably to get annoyed at myself for doing it wrong. Once I've flipped them sideways, restacked them, reforge welded them, then I'm going to put some more layers on the top and bottom, just because. This video is going to have a lot less interruptions, a lot less talking. I'm just going to get through it. I'll show you most of the process. I hope to show at least every step, maybe not every part of every step, but along the way. So already that's too much talking, so let's just get into it.
life is just always mysterious and surprising. You never know what's around the next corner. You never know what's around the next corner.
couple of days since I've done any work here in the garage, trying to sort out that Damascus kerfuffle. For now, I'm going to throw in the towel on that project. As you saw, when I tried to bring all the pieces together, it didn't work. They didn't want to stay together. What I had attempted to do was weld the pieces together into a large piece, just forge weld them together, and as soon as they were stuck together, I was just going to call it quits. I'd call it good enough. But when I did, and I think that's because the cross section, there's not enough surface area, so you hit it with a hammer, which isn't exactly a very subtle way of doing things. So what it would do is it would pinch the two together, and it would force them to basically do this as I hammered on it. When you try to force it together with a harder blow, they just separate, they fall apart. I just don't think there's enough substance there for something as abrupt as a hammer blow. So I managed to get two pieces sort of stuck together. I gave up on it halfway through though. It's not good. So at this point, I'm going to throw in the towel on this, which is a shame because it is hours and hours and hours and hours of work that I've put into it. So much gas. It's another $40, $50 worth of steel. Just gone. What I'll do, unless I can figure out a way of getting them to join together, I might turn these into individual little knickknacks. Maybe some pendants. I can't think what else I'd make with something as small as this. Again, this is only my second attempt at making something Damascus, so expecting something really good to work, it would seem I have a mouse in my garage. Oh, I have to stop him getting in the house. I thought I did. I thought I saw something the other day and just watched him walking along some shelves. Cheeky. What was I saying? To expect flawless results so soon after learning, trying to learn, practicing. What am I saying? Considering this is only my second proper attempt at Damascus, whilst getting to this point, I'm pretty happy with the pattern on this. It would have been pretty cool to have a bunch of these stacked up on top of each other, twisted around, and turn that into a knife blade or something. What I may end up doing is making rocks. I don't know, but it's all part of the practice. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of gas, it's a waste of energy. But you can't get good at something without putting the effort in, without putting, not necessarily money, but you have to sacrifice to gain. So in this case, the sacrifice is time and money. Both commodities I don't really want to just waste. But I thought, it's weird talking to the camera when there's other people walking past. Can you tell I'm a bit tired? And again, I've lost track of thought. You can't have a reward without putting something in. In this case, it's time, effort, money, but it's practice. I'll get there eventually. So I knew that the outcome would not be what I drew over here. As you can see, you don't actually get swirls because depending on what stage of your twist you're at, you'll get different angles, not so much an actual twist. I mean, even between these two, they're not the same. So I'll probably turn these little things into something, I don't know what. The next project will be some more Damascus. Call me crazy. I'm getting a bit frustrated by not being able to find thinner material. The only suppliers that I know, I can get 1075, 1084, all sorts, but they're selling out of the stuff I want. So they have like 6mm thick stuff, which is ridiculous. It's fine as a single piece for a blank for a blade to do stock removal or whatever and turn into a blade, whatever you want, but for hand hammering without the use of power tools, hydraulic presses, whatever, power hammers. Using a hand hammer only, you got to use some thinner material. What I'd love to have is a heap of 1.5 mil, but right now the supplier, the thinnest of anything I can get, is 2.5. So by the time you do 4 layers even, your billet's already this thick. I don't really know how to go about it. What I do know is I'm going to start off with a bigger piece so that by the time I lose 3/4 of it with my skills, scale and grinding and cutting, all of that, I'll still have a usable piece, hopefully, that I can forge into something. This is what I was starting with for the previous 2 projects. I think it's 120 millimeters long, 12 centimeters, looks to be 3.5 mil thick, which is thick, it's hard to deal with. However, I think that is what I was using here. It is workable, it's just a pain. Stack it next to the stuff I've got now, significantly larger, which will be good for maintaining a decent billet size. I'm not going to be able to twist that, so it's just going to have to be layers upon layers upon layers. Draw it out, fold it, forge it, draw it out, all of that repeatedly. Maybe I'll do 2 or 3 of them even, 4 layers. You fold it once, you have 8, again 16, 32, 64. I had to think about that. There lies a problem though. Once I forge this down and it gets longer, it probably won't fit in my forge. So I'm gonna have a whole nother set of obstacles to deal with. So for now, I'm gonna have to end this video on a bit of a downer. I didn't finish any projects. I don't want to deal with this right now. I'm hoping that through some practice, maybe I think of a way of joining these suckers back together. It's just one of those things. Not going to beat myself up over it. To be honest, I'm pretty surprised that I was able to get this to work. That's a success in a way. So unfortunately, after a lot of fussing, a lot of effort, a lot of time, I'm just going to end it here. I knew that this wouldn't show up as swirls as what my diagram earlier showed up. That was just sort of like as an indication of how I knew that the